The following program contains disturbing materials that may not be suitable for some resellers. Viewer discretion is advised.
Fedex. It's been sort of a bane of my existence for years. Many of you guys know I made a video, 2 to 3 years ago about Fedex and the massive overcharging that was going on when you're buying labels on eBay for FedEx. And I'm talking like in the hundreds of dollars, and where eBay initially gave me like a $300 credit for just a bunch of charges that were extremely higher than what was being quoted. And then the second batch, I think another 2 months worth, about $300 or $400 worth of labels, they put in a request that never really was credited to my account. So here we are again, and many sellers, and this is not only from my own observation, people that I associate with, like Archie Biscuit Butts, going through the same thing, but according to eBay's own reps, that there's many sellers that are dealing with that same situation right now. And the situation is, if you buy or if you have bought labels on eBay for FedEx, like FedEx Ground, FedEx 2-Day, there is a high probability, and you want to check your messages on eBay to see if this has happened. But I've received 2 such messages that state that 6 different packages are being adjusted, and in some cases by like double. So there's additional charges being slapped on after the fact, after the package is delivered. And that shouldn't be happening. Now, the video that I made, and the reason why I had so many overages a few years ago, was because I was using the poly bag. I was doing the bag and the box in a bag, where you put your box in a poly mailer. And there's a number of reasons that I did this. I know there's some people out there that think this is not a thing, but it is a thing. And this is confirmed with my local rep. Also, I did take some time to do some reading on FedEx's own site. Now, they do allow you to utilize poly mailers on FedEx, but that's only if the item is no more than 5 inches in girth, I guess you'd say, in height in the poly mailer, and that is the max. If you wrap your boxes like we were with the bubble wrap and then the poly mailer on the outside, even if it's form fitted to the box, that is not allowed. Well, it is allowed, but they're going to charge you handling or additional handling fees on those packages. And it is a thing, guys. That is why I had to pay hundreds of dollars when I made that video. But this is not what that is, okay? And we can go into the debate about whether it's a thing or not. Some of you say it's not. I can tell you from experience in dealing with people it is, but that's a debate for another day. This situation that's happening to sellers, that's happening this last week, is one where there is a glitch or a problem, a billing problem between eBay and FedEx. And I'll just give you an idea here. If we go over to my email, this is the email that you guys should have received if you're affected by this. If you don't have an email in your messages on eBay, then you're probably not affected by this. It's not every seller, but you see the cost adjustment in red, okay? $11.67. Here's another one for $22.75. Now, I paid only $20 initially. That was the quoted price for this label. So this label effectively at another $22.75 is $42. That will kill most people's profits. Here's one that was adjusted by $31. That's nuts, guys. Here's another one, $12.86. Here's another one, $15.43. I have another email like this that I received a few days ago that had one for $12 and another one for 30 some odd dollars. That 30 some odd dollar one was our fault. Jenna did the box in the bag and was supposed to send that Ground Advantage and sent it by FedEx Ground. So I eat that. I own that. And that is something that we knew better to do. And for whatever reason, it just happened. So here's an example, going to the $22.75 overage. Now, some of you might say, well, you know, your weighting might be off, your dimensions might be off. Well, take a look here. If you click on the view adjustment little button there, it will tell you that my weight on this was 25 pounds. Okay. And it says the carrier has reported that the weight of your package was 24.6 pounds, which is fine. You always want to overestimate, or in this case, over-report your weight. My billable weight based on the dimensions was 25 pounds, so I'm safe there. And then the dimensions I had were 12 by 23 by 12, or 23 by 12 by 12. And it says the carrier reported that the dimensions of the package was 22 by 11 by 10, which means that I overestimated the actual dimensions of the package. I do that intentionally because I don't want to have the situation. Now, what happens is my initial label cost was $20.14, and the cost adjusted, they added $22.75 under the guise of postage, fuel surcharge, and residential surcharge. Essentially, they're taking away the eBay discount and they're charging you full retail is essentially what's happening on these packages. And so it has nothing to do with the special handling fee for, you know, using a poly mailer instead of cardboard. This is an absolute glitch problem. I did call eBay, and when I spoke to eBay, they put me on hold, of course, and they came back and said they received a memo today that stated there is a problem and they are working on it, and they are going to be processing refunds to affected sellers within the next 5 business days, which means if you have this letter that was emailed to you by eBay, the amounts in red were all deducted from your funds. That's money out of your pocket, and it will not be returned to you until up to 5 business days. That's what they're saying. And of course, I did get the information. You try to tell me that, you know, it's under the seller protection policy, I'm protected. I had to remind them there's no such verbiage pertaining to eBay labels in the seller protection policy. But he said, look, don't worry. Here's the SR number. I'm going to share it with you guys if you guys want to make reference to it. It's 1-475-868-379-221. And that's my conversation with this rep that stated within 1 to 5 business days, this money was going to be returned to each and every affected reseller. And that was my conversation with this representative. And I contacted Archie Biscuit Butt, and he had asked me about this. Coincidentally, it's happening to him at the same time as it's happening to us. And he had like an overage of, I think it was $20 on a $20 label, just like the example that I showed you. I explained to him that what the rep told me, and he pulled up on his app, on the eBay app, under help. So if you go under, and I'll show it to you right here. If you go under your My eBay icon down at the bottom of the app, and then you select help, you should see a blue little blurb there. And I'll show it to you here. It says, due to a FedEx invoicing issue the week of March 25th, 2024, some sellers were incorrectly charged for FedEx label adjustments. We apologize for the inconvenience, and eBay will refund these amounts within the next 5 business days. So everything that the rep told me is right there in writing. And oddly enough, Archie pulled this same verbiage up once he exited and came back. That blurb was not there, which is why I have a screenshot to show you guys. You know, we're taking down all the information so that we can hold eBay accountable, because if next week by this time we don't have our funds back, I mean, for me, it's over like $100. For others, it might be more, might be less, but you know what? when you mess with someone's money, that's a problem. I mean, you have a glitch here and a glitch there, and it might be inconvenient, but when you start messing with the money, that's where I have a huge, huge issue with, just as many of you guys do. And I thought it would be a good idea just to try to calm the nerves a little bit by letting you know that this is happening and the money has been taken from you if you receive those messages that I showed you, but it's going to be returned, at least according to what eBay has shown us and what they've said. So comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this. I personally am not going to be using FedEx labels through eBay anymore. And I can tell you there's been times where we've used FedEx on eBay rather than going through my established account with FedEx, because in some cases, for whatever reason, eBay was showing me the same Ground Advantage label for like $2, $3, $4, $5 cheaper. And the other 75% of the time, I'm getting it $5 to $10 cheaper through my FedEx account. So I was taking the cheaper option, right? Might as well to help offset the fees you're paying eBay. And that was working really well. But I don't want eBay and FedEx to start pulling funds from me like they did. It sort of opens up bad memories of having hundreds of dollars taken from me years ago when I was fighting with FedEx and not getting it all back. Don't want to go down that road again. For me, it's just not worth it. I'll gladly pay a few extra bucks to make sure that it doesn't happen to me. I would recommend, if you use FedEx, and this hasn't happened with UPS, but I would still do this if you use UPS a lot, contact or find a way to contact a local sales rep in your area and see if you can get set up with a discount based on your volume. And they can adjust your dim settings, which is a calculation based on the dimensions of the package and the weight, to get your price lower. So you still might be charging $20, let's say on a calculated label, to your buyer, but only paying like $15. And trust me, if you sell enough packages throughout the year, that savings, it does really, really add up. But I'm not falling for the eBay labels thing anymore. They were being really competitive the last couple of months, but I'm not playing it anymore. I'm not taking that chance because, yes, they got enough blowback, which is why they posted this little message on the app. But what happens the next time, when they don't acknowledge it? How many glitches or problems has eBay created, like a duplicate listing or a loss of listings in your store, and they haven't acknowledged that? And it causes problems like duplicate sales, and they leave you holding the bag. Well, I'm tired of holding the bag. So for me, the correction here is to go with FedEx directly, where I haven't experienced these kind of problems. So I want to know if you're experiencing this type of thing. Are you affected by this right now? Put your comments down below. How much did eBay take from you? And we could say FedEx, but it's going through eBay. eBay's the one taking the money from you, not FedEx. Of course, they're taking it on behalf of FedEx, but still, eBay should never have allowed this in the first place. So I want your thoughts on that down below. Do me a favor, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content, and of course, hit that like button. Guys, glitches are going to happen, right? And we should just be willing to move on from those glitches. But when they start playing with your money, that's where I have a concern. And it just highlights the fact that it's yet another example of how flipping ain't easy. Have a great rest of your day, and we will talk to you very soon. Take care, everyone.